The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation.
Okay, bonjour, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? It's a day, Tuesday, the 5th of August. And hopefully we're all winning. I'm pretty AFK at the minute, I'll be honest, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like overly trading these market conditions. Hope you're all winning. Hope you're loving life. Hope you're winning. Oh, you're winning, son. Good afternoon, hey G. Good evening, gents. Good evening, Ultimate. Good evening, JJ. Good evening, Nikolai Nikolevsky, trying relentlessly to shill his bag on me, which I respect the hustle. You know, absolutely nothing but respect for the hustle. No, I haven't bought any Zeus. Let's go, bonjour. Hi, AIY or ALY? Ali? Awi? Don't know. Good evening, Ahmed Arabaz. Good evening, Carlos. Let's fucking go. I've aped something that was qualifying called Sun Are You Winning, which is apparently a year and 4 months old. And it's one of the old school classic memes. Yeah. We'll kind of see how this plays out. We'll do the classic, sell some on a 2x or something. I'm just gonna market it out, come on, come on. We'll do 50% on 2x and do the classic like break even, and then we'll see where the rest of it takes us, shall we? On the assumption that it hits there. Do some research on it, you won't regret it. But I have a question regarding spaghetti charts. Alright, fire away, brother. Good evening, Charles Challenger, my friend. So yeah, this is the glory of BonkBot. I haven't been massively trading on it, but I did have a nice trade on it, which kind of doubled, maybe tripled my wallet, which is nice. I mean, it's only a pretty small balance, but I kind of, well, stream performance. I'll probably leave stream performance memes up here, to be honest. That's one of them, minus 97%. But in terms of like X-ray and finding new memes, like there's some really good stuff. Chief Troll Officer, legendary, genius. I mean, obviously, just got absolutely pumped after it migrated, but we'll go back to Are You Winning, son. I like that meme personally. So we'll see if we can, you know, get out at 2x and then like let the rest ride. Maybe we'll just like limit sell, I don't know, 5x or something. The rest of it, 100% of what remains. Bosh. Bosh. Now I can just AFK the rest of the stream. And either wake up having lost money, or made some money. Lovely. Purely from whatever was on the old X-ray. Yeah, shout out to Legends of BonkBot. I'm actually gonna, when I come back from holiday, which is, well, I go tomorrow, I'm gonna make a bit more educational content on this, just on my YouTube channel. And we will do some decent single vids, because I know that people don't like, oh look, he's nuking the chat already, what a pussy. People don't like holding, or sorry, people don't like videos more than 5 minutes usually. Yeah, we'll jump into things. Okay, I was observing spaghetti around 2 hours ago, and Fwog was the weakest in my list, 60 coins on it, and Bitcoin was dropping. It was logical to short it, but now it's the strongest. Can you check it? Yeah, sure. We'll jump in with that question, because that's actually a really good question. I mean, for me, like, I always want to look at the two extremes, which is anything at the bottom and anything at the top, right? And the reason I want to look at the bottom one isn't actually to short it. It's because usually what happens is exactly what you've just said that happens, which is it sits here down at the bottom, and then as soon as it finds some strength, it just rips out of everything else, right? It absolutely crushes, like, everything. So what did you say, FWOG? I mean, I don't like trade FWOG USD, okay? But we'll stick it on there. Yeah, okay. It's not actually the worst performing coin, but like you just said, it turned into a pretty, I'll make it orange, massive. That doesn't work, does it? Yeah, so it wasn't the worst, but it was pretty bad. I think one of the problems that you've got is, depending on when you were doing it, like when was it a bad coin? It's actually been pretty decent the whole time. I think that's probably, I don't know if you're just like looking at one rotation and not in like the high time frame context. Because if it's a really strong mover, like from a higher time frame, like this is obviously 30-minute Bosch low, you've got, you know, it's strong. And if that's the message, that it's strong and it's good, then, you know, for me, like and then it dies off like down here. That to me is like, well, it has been really good, so I'll look for signs of it being really good again. I don't want to fade it unless the price action is such that it's like, you know, nice little lower high or something after a big parabolic move. 3 PM UTC, which is something like here, isn't it? Because 3 PM UTC. Ah, okay, so yeah, it did die off like today. Yeah, but I suppose it's exactly what I just said, which is the context of it is since the like recent low, it's actually been really strong, one of the better memes, and it's just had a big pullback. And typically, you know, if it's one of the best memes or one of the best beta assets out there, I don't want to be fading it just because it's low on relative strength. I'll fade it if the price action is right, but yeah, that's like, I'm always interested in up here or down here. Like, I don't know why Ton's doing what it is or useless is. We might have a look at those charts and maybe kind of prove the point. Yeah, useless, but surprisingly, down at the lows. But yeah, Pump Fun and FWOG. I must admit, I've not had FWOG on my radar at all. I think it had its run and stuff, but yeah, we'll see. The good old Charlie vacation pump is coming, lol. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, you're right, Ultimate. You're actually right. It's the classic. All right, market's gonna run because I'm not here, which is fine. I don't care, right? I've had plenty of opportunities in my life, so fuck it. Enjoy all day. I will, brother. Thank you. So yeah. So how to spot weakness and strength and how to know it will keep up. Obviously, chart shows it, but these are tips. So really, it's just about like if I'm looking at this, like low time frame, and I'm going, okay, so I'm gonna short. Like, when does it start changing? Like, for me, it starts changing here because, like, this is when, like, if you imagine, I did try and code this once and it didn't work too well. If you imagine in terms of, like, percentiles, right? If you had, like, you know, basically KCBs around these, and you were, oh, that's fucking horrible, I'm just gonna change that. If you had, like, you know, KCBs around this, which were, like, you know, the kind of average movement of all these, yeah, and I'm gonna make them white or something so they're a little bit cleaner to see, and we'll make them massive, yeah. If you were looking at it like this, like the bit for me is what's in the extremes to the upside, what's in the extremes to the downside, and as soon as it kind of comes back in up here, like this is where you're wrong, like here, this is where you're wrong on that thought process, that weakness is going to continue because it's effectively come back into like the mean, not mean, but like the standard like distribution bell curve, right, of altcoins. So the way I look at it is like, it's like this. Like most alts are like here, like Bitcoin is typically here, right, at the absolute peak of that bell curve. That's usually BTC. So we might even just color that line orange just to kind of make the point of its daddy BTC. Most alts are here and here, yeah. Some are above, some are down, depending on which way Bitcoin is going. I'm usually interested in trading these extremes, and then as soon as they go back into this, that's probably when either they've lost the strength or they've lost the weakness, and that's when I really need to be like thinking about my bias and checking my bias and going, well, either I'm in a really strong short or long because the price action, you know, breaking out of a range or something, and oh, I want to hold it, or actually it's time just to kind of cut the trade, take profit, do whatever. or take the loss, depending on obviously where it is. Yeah. But anyway, it was a good question, it was well thought out. That's kind of my answer. And even like mean diagonals with a break back into like average, you know, that average kind of cloud I was banging on about, like this. Yeah, I think it's easy to say in hindsight, right? It's really easy to say in hindsight. But if you take that thought process over the next week, come back next stream, ask me the same thing, I'll give you the same answer. Hopefully you'll see it in practice a little bit more. Right? Hopefully you'll see that happen a couple of times if you get some good rotations. But anyway. So yeah, let's jump into more stuff. So I mean, Bitcoin's looking a bit shit, isn't it? And after everyone fucking slated me on Twitter for posting a chart with a line on it, which was this one. Well, I said it's not looking good, brev, like here. And then it fucking sold off, and like it's still kind of not looking good, brev. You know, the thing for me is like, I'm still going to bet on upside. I think like global markets have had a bit of a sell-off. Obviously, Trump's doing what he's doing, which is pretty standard. We've had a pretty continuous run-up in terms of global markets since the start of April. You know, SPX up 33%. Like, let's just not forget how wild that actually is, right? That's pretty insane. So, yeah, like I'm not surprised that we are getting a little pullback. You know, we've had these pullbacks like here, even this, you know, like pretty fucking brutal pullbacks. I'm still a bull at heart. I'm gonna hold my spot BTC. I am actually in an Ethereum short, which is kind of to hedge out my positioning a little bit because I've got some spot bags as well, things like BERT, things like anyone, things like Litecoin. We'll go over some trade setups in a minute, but for now, like levels that I'm particularly interested in are obviously anything down here. I personally think that to remain bullish, like we have to front run this level, which is what we've been doing, right? I don't want to see us. That is the biggest fucking arrow I've ever seen in my life. You know, I don't want to see us go with that one. I don't want to see us come back in here, basically, because then this trade is kind of a little bit invalidated because of this whole region here in terms of value being established, right? If we come back in here and accept back in here, then, you know, my bet would be it's going to the range low, so it's going back to like 100k. I really don't want to see it do that. So this here, for me, is kind of that point of last resort in terms of like, this is where I'm still bullish. In here, I'm not so much, unless you get the really quick reaction and there's huge demand there, right? In which case, that's probably going to be the easiest long trade of your life if you're not already in some form of spot long position, right? Something like this. So I am in spot long BTC. I have tried to short it a couple of times, like back here I think it was, or maybe it was here, I don't know, can't remember. Once, and failed. I'm going to just hold spot BTC. I don't think it's done as a trade, but I could be wrong. Do you change what you consider acceptance based on what time frame you want to trade? Yeah, 100%. So if you're sat there like looking at like weekly charts, which I don't really do, to be honest, it's quite too high time frame for me. Like, I'm not waiting for weekly closes to execute. Like, I think that's pretty ridiculous unless you are just a very, very high time frame like EMA trader and you're more than happy, you know, with a kind of 10, 15, 20% variance in terms of your entry. Yeah, I personally don't like that. I think like weekly closes are quite arbitrary. I mean closes in general are arbitrary, right? I think the fact the price has visited an area, like there's a big debate obviously, like in general, you know, do wicks count? Do you draw a range like this, or do you draw it like this off the wicks? Do you draw it like that? Does this count? And you know, my thought process is always that if price has traveled and traded there, then it counts. Like, you know, someone bought and or sold at this point, so therefore it's a valid data point, even if, you know, by the close it was back above wherever. Does that make sense? Yeah, this is like my last stand for bulls. I think this is enough punishment, personally. And there's no divs or anything to say that I should be bullish. So this is kind of purely a gut feel perspective. It's not really based on like anything other than if it goes back here, it's going to be pretty fucking painful. Like, I genuinely think, like, what are the probabilistic outcomes that this was the low? Or it's going, you know, way fucking lower, in which case I'm going to have to, like... I'm in a position now where I can trade on holiday. So, if I end up selling all my spot BTC, like, down here, then I end up selling it all. Who cares? Still, decent trade from back here. But equally, if we get something like this, a really, really quick move up, then I want to be long in that. And equally, I think there are lots of altcoins that look absolutely juiced and ready to go if ETH can just stop shitting the bed. So onto ETH, and this is kind of another reason why I think that like this should be the low or the local low, right? Is that this short played out really nicely so far in terms of like you got this divergence, perfect divergence across these highs. You know, people are like, oh, I can ignore divergences. Like, yep, okay, cool, thanks for that. Unironically, you know, people get sucked into the euphoria of coins actually going up. But let's delete some of that stuff. And you know, it's structurally, it's quite nice in terms of we've had this high, we've had this low, we've now got this high, and if it carries on dying, then great, this will play out. If this round trips, then it's fucking cut, right? So it's not going to be a losing trade for me at all anymore. But from like a 4-hour perspective, this is like the range low, pretty established, right? Even rejection here from former range low, and then, you know, a strong candle to re-accept back in it. This is where we want to see the front running. This is where, again, we want to see the acceptance back into this range on a 4-hour basis. And actually, if you wanted to spot long some ETH, this is kind of where you do it. You know, maybe looking for a change in hourly structure with then a stop under the range low, and you're looking for essentially that next leg on ETH, right? So if you were weeks ago crying about not having a position in ETH, like this is the setup that I'd be looking for. Now, I'm probably not going to be around to execute it because I'll be on a plane or whatever, but this is it. This is kind of, again, the last chance kind of saloon for ETH holding the range. Even if it just comes to range highs, still pretty reasonable trade, right? It's probably a couple hour, like, yeah, 2 hour, not too bad. Not my usual, like, 100-hour trades or whatever. But, yeah, like, that's kind of why I'm, like, in this position where mentally I think Bitcoin has to have put in the low now, or it's going a lot lower. ETH, exactly the same. If it doesn't hold this range, it's just going to die. And I know that's like, oh, if it doesn't go up, it's going to go down. No. This is actually what I'm saying is this is a really good position to take some trades, because, you know, if it holds, then it's the next leg, right? Because we've got a good structure, we've got that nice shift, we've had a strong sell-off, bam. However, you know, some weeks I come on these and I go, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, not I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I don't know where the, you know, premium EV trades to take are, because they were when I took them the other day, or they are being planned for. You know, again, another kind of point of confidence here is like, from a 4-hour perspective, you're retesting that 50 RSI. So you're finding out whether this is going to be like the change in bull or bear momentum, right? So yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff here, I think, that adds up to this is a good place to take on some risk. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of a shit time to take on some risk for probably the next few weeks. And then I just shut everything off and carry on enjoying the summer holidays. Does that all make sense to everyone? When in doubt, be bullish. Kind of. I mean, I'd like to think that I've given you a bit more rationale than just I'm bullish because I want to be. You know, I do want to be bullish fundamentally, but we've had some really strong moves up. I do think this is kind of a last stand area for both ETH and BTC, purely because of range, purely because of if it goes back into previous value areas, then it's going to be pretty painful. And I think it goes to the value area low, like down here. Does it go as far back as like this? Don't know, maybe not. But yeah, I would like to think that this is the low. So we're going to operate with that thesis, right? And then the way that that changes my trading, like if I was sat here every day, which I'm not going to be, like I said, for the next week, the way that that changes my trading is I'm just very conscious of it, right? I'm very conscious of like this level. I'm very conscious of Bitcoin selling off and starting to really die. So any positions that I enter, I'm going to be really quick to cut. So I'm not super aggressive. I'm actually dipping my toe in. I'm taking some longs because there's good risk reward, but I'm going to be quite quick to cut if the market changes. Yeah, so I'm kind of preparing myself for being wrong. So whereas sometimes I'm like, no, I'll keep a wider stop on all my alts, or I'll keep trading, I'll keep going. To me, if this starts dying, like we've already had a taste of it, right? Like it's not pretty. Like some of these rotations, you know, selling off. You know, nearly double digits on some of them. Really not great. But yeah, in the ETH short, which is good. That's kind of my hedge against the rest of the market as well. Now, other trades and stuff, like I really want some bonk, but that's on relative strength, right? And this is like how I keep putting it in my outlook is, until it shows me some relative strength, I'm just not interested, right? It's down there at the moment, fucking one of the worst assets. Now, that's because it obviously had all the hype from bonk fun and all this stuff. And, you know, the pump fun, bonk fun pair trade has obviously gone the other way. So it's a good job that we took this one, right? And actually got the pump fun move. But similarly, every cunt on Twitter is posting about it. And really, it's really not doing much, right? I mean, I get that it's been reasonably resilient compared to the rest of the market, yeah? Like, the rest of the market is pretty much dying and pump's actually moving, which is really, really nice. But it's a bit of a poor breakout for now. I mean, I'm not going to be in a rush to close this, right? I've got a decent sized bag, and it's moving. I do think that it kind of takes the highs over here or does something like that. And similarly, you know, I think that this music's a bit savage, isn't it? Blowing my fucking ears out. I hope it's all good for you guys. Let me know if it's not. I think it takes these highs out, and I think that's like the reversion kind of play. Now it obviously might go higher. Obviously might not even get there, so, you know, layered take profits along the way. And I think I talked about a TP kind of over here, and maybe even like over here, just to kind of trim some off and pay yourself. Obviously, I don't really care about what people think about holding it till the full trade duration. Crypto's very fucking volatile, so you just gotta do what you gotta do. Take some profits. You don't go broke taking profits. Equally, if we start losing structure, etc. And the reason I highlight this, even though it's like it's a bit late, and obviously we covered this in Paragon Stream on Monday and all this kind of stuff, is that it's still one of the best looking assets in terms of potential breakout. So, you know, if I look at it just from a pure, oh, that's why I did blue, wasn't it? A pure price action perspective, you know, this is kind of where it gets interesting, because we've actually broken out. Like I said, the disappointing thing is that it's really not done much. It actually looks like it's rounding off a bit in terms of like momentum. But in terms of this here, we will just change that to blue. A bit annoying that you can't have like separate color schemes for different charts, but whatever. You know, it's very, very clean. And if it can hold some momentum, and if it can hold like our meme diagonals, then, you know, you might get another opportunity at a long with something as simple as this, right? And again, same targets, same stuff. Shit music, not gonna lie, evening. Yeah, fair, mate. I thought I'd pick a different, what's it called? A different song than the usual one that I do. It's like a gaming one or something. Yeah, my bad. I prefer my old school one, to be honest. I'll just go with my old school one. This is the one that I like. There we go. Now we're home. Now we're home. Now we're home. Sounds like I'm not sure I can say that word, but yeah, I kind of agree, to be honest. Sounds a bit weeby, doesn't it? No offense to any weebs in the chat. But yeah, I genuinely think like next leg of pump, it should be one that's quite high on your radar, particularly because it's so high on spaghetti. Now, obviously, anyone who has followed me for some time surely has, what's it called? Spaghetti on your thing. So firstly, I'll just bosh that in, and anyone trading on chain, go use BonkBot or telemetry by BonkBot, I should say, and make sure you're using a ref link because you will get extra points for doing so. And I don't know what points mean, but typically points mean prizes, so I'll bosh that in. And obviously, anyone who wants the TradingView chart in front of you, the spaghetti one, it is there. Just open that link, and your bored apes are gone. No, I'm joking. Copy it from up here. Right, there'll be a button. Copy it. Yoink. Job done. So yeah, pump. I would just have it high on your radar, right? Because I think this trend accelerates as well. Like if I look at this and I go like this and I go bosh, and we start looking at like, you know, parabolic moves. You know, it kind of fits. And I know parabolas are very, very subjective, but it kind of fits. Anyway, I've not been paid to talk about pump, by the way, like half a CT. So just disclosing and, you know, what'd you say? What would you call it? Disclosing, not a disclosure. I don't know. But yeah, they haven't paid me. Fucking tight cunts. But anyway, it's a good asset, so we, you know, gotta respect the strength. In terms of everything else, there's not really too much that stands out to me. A little bit of hype, a little bit of LTC. Now, LTC is one of the positions that I didn't actually close. I said on stream, and I was like, why am I saying this? Like, what have I become? That I closed 2/3 of my SPX position up here. I still have a third left, so I still have a third of this left. And I was a little bit late. I think I closed it in here somewhere, but whatever. You know, we had this break of structure. We had the absolute, you know, carnage in the market in general. So I've still got a third of this, just to be very clear. And I said, I've closed 2/3 of my SPX position, and I've left my Litecoin position. And at the end of my stream, I was like, I'm pretty retarded, aren't I? Like, me 10 years ago would not have done that. 10 years ago, I wasn't even trading 10 years ago, but yeah. Like, me a couple of years ago would have been the exact opposite. But thankfully, Litecoin has redeemed itself and listened to my wishes and not absolutely killed itself. It kind of helps that 99% of CT have just randomly started fucking shilling it, which usually means they've had like an OTC deal or something, but we'll let that slide because they're shilling my bags. If you're using perp, taking this pump trade as an example, to usually size the top around 8, stop around 8 to 10% or tighter. Depends on the trade setup and the invalidation, mate. If I'm playing intraday rotations, there's no percentage, there's no nothing, right? It will be a set amount of money that I want to lose per trade, which will then be kind of dictated by, okay, well, if I'm playing like this rotation here, so that's a fucking bad example. Like, let's say I'm playing this rotation, like, okay, like this. So let's make the maths easy. Let's fucking do like 1%. So if I'm saying, okay, well, I want to lose $1,000, right, for this trade. This is all I'm willing to risk. Yeah, $1,000. So, you know, 1% equals $1,000. So 100% equals $100,000. That's how I manage my position sizing, right? So when you see me do like 4% wide stops, like this one for example, this is 4.7%. Like, doesn't change my, it'll change my sizing, but you know, I'm not just doing the same size. And I try not to go as high as like 10%, but you know, sometimes that's what the alt market requires, because obviously every time that you make it wider, the smaller your sizes are going to be. So if you're sat there with, you know, a 4% stop loss, you can go twice the size of an 8%. So Want to see a chart 90% of traders are sidelined on that's ridiculous. Check Bucky, caught 7 million to 25 million. It passed Annie in market cap yesterday. Like, mate, what are all these things? I'm so like not with it. Bucky. Jesus. What the fuck is this? Is this some like bundled shite or something? It's wild. Nice. I mean, yeah, there's a lot remaining, isn't there? Pretty mental. Yeah. I mean, that is a good chart, I'm not gonna lie. That is pretty tasty. But, I mean, am I gonna ape the top? Absolutely fucking not. I mean, if you rode it like to 25 mil, that's ballsy, mate. Well done, that's really good. Like 5 mil volume. Lots of fucking Chad holders. I mean, I'd just be, yeah, wary when they all start fucking nuking the chart, because, yeah, 900k liquidity. Boop. And people sat on literal millions. So, but no, nice, well played for fucking riding it and getting it out as well. Like, that's awesome. You want to look at Zeus? Which one is it? It's not this one, is it? It can't be that one either. Zeus is on 8th, isn't it? My man is really shilling his bag. Let's go. Got some bad news for you, brother. I think, what's it called? Dextools thinks I'm DDoSing it or something. Come on. Come on. The chart does not look good. It's not even loading. Yeah, man. 15th refreshes it. Yeah. Like... yeah, that's not looking good, bruv. This is clearly on-chain degeneracy about the stream. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of both, mate. Like, I kind of covered off Bitcoin. I covered off... I'm covering off alts, but we are getting a bit distracted, I'm not gonna lie. Chazza still on dial-up tone. I know, mate. Fucking AOL just brr, brr. There's like so many people that won't get that reference. That's a dead coin pattern. Yeah, that's fucking like. I mean, that is just literally consistent lower highs, nothing but absolute down. Like, had a nice run though. You know, you can't fucking mock it. Like. I mean, you can, I suppose, but you know, hit 26 mil, but yeah, that's fucking down only, mate. Like, higher rises, or we just shattered? Ah, we'll take a look at Filecoin. It's on my list of things to trade. But yeah, mate. I mean, that looks pretty bad. I'm sorry. Wait, did you sell your useless bag? Ooh. Oh, come on, you don't ask questions like that. We'll cover off useless as well in a minute. Yeah, dead coin pattern, pretty much. You talked about Filecoin. So Filecoin again has been pretty high on my radar. So I've wanted. It's the same story as Bonk, right? So Bonk and Filecoin are the two that I wanted to intraday trade and to play rotations on, and thought they would come back. Now, I can think anything I fucking want, right? What this chart tells me is what is in play. What this chart tells me is what's good for rotations, and what this chart tells me is that altcoin had a nice rotation, but really didn't do much afterwards, yeah? So like this here, this was the trade there, right? Bosh. Like that would have been my trade, like honestly. Like I know I'm like hindsight larping a loss, which is pretty unheard of, but that would have been the thought process, is as soon as the strength came in, and we reclaimed this range here, which is really, really nice. Lots of deviations, lots of like kind of clear resistance, support, etc. Really nice level, really strong downtrend and strong sell-off. Break it with relative strength. It's a good reversion trade, right? And this one wasn't. But, you know, would I take that trade again? Yeah, absolutely. I'd take that trade again and again and again and again. And more often than not, it'll probably work. Probably give me a decent bounce most of the time, but obviously the market's a bit shit at the moment. Bonk been so hot lately. Think they've been running some of those coins up? Yeah, they have been. It's been, you know, it's just been a hot in-play narrative, and that's kind of why. So now you've got this like strange position where pump is running. Yeah, so pump's running, pump's going well. Everyone's focused like back on pump, and bonk is taking a bit of a nosedive as a result. Similar to altcoin, like I wanted to see the relative strength, and we might be getting to a position where actually like, I was going to say there might be a div, a bit of a janky one, but nah, it's kind of nothing. I mean, there's a little bit of like momentum divergence here, but it's not, this isn't like an actionable divergence, right? It's just saying that these dips are getting a bit shallower, and actually there's a bit of strength like between them. I wouldn't take a trade off this, but yeah, just kind of interesting to note that the sell-off is obviously slowing down, which is what you can see from basic PA. But yeah, hopefully we get just like a little range here, and then we run it up again, right? Because from a higher time frame perspective, it's really annoying that this keeps going back to white, to blue even. Because from a high time frame perspective, like bonk looks great. Bonk's bouncing off this, like, or sorry, bonk is sat at this high time frame pivotal level, and I would love to see it hold above this pivotal level, right? And then run. Simple as that. Vibe trading. This is the low based on vibes? No, not based on vibes. What are you on about? I don't think I've said vibes, have I? No. Hype's still looking strong compared to the rest of the market. High time frame structure looks sexy. Haven't really been looking at hype, to be honest. I sold my bag of hype that I bought for $17 at like 38 or something, and I was quite happy with that. And now we're back there. Yeah. Yeah. It's alright. It's hard to kind of trade the anything but a breakout really at this range. And I don't really like trading like spot bags particularly. I guess the only way I could really justify it is this. You know, like literally something like this, and assume that the market is in a massively bullish state and that we're going to get a decent next leg. The pivot you mentioned on ETH is a good idea to open 2 trades and ride the one that doesn't get stopped out. I mean, you could do, but I don't do that. I like to just trade one at the extremes, and like for me, I'm not going to long ETH. ETH is my short hedge. I was just saying that if people wanted to long ETH, I don't think it's a bad place to do so. I'm not taking that trade. Personally, that's because I'm in a short on ETH, so I'm not gonna just take both and then like play the range essentially, because then I'm just playing the range as a trade, which, yeah, I'm not gonna tie myself in knots with like 1400 positions. If I want to long something that you know is ETH beta essentially, I'd long something like ENA, LDO, or ETC or something like that, right? I don't know if there's a setup on any of those coins, but I'd be going for that if I wanted to play rotations. but I'm not in the place where I want to play rotations, because firstly I'm going on holiday, secondly I just don't think the market is particularly supportive of it in terms of like, you know, how much time you have to put in for intraday rotations to make them work versus playing a couple of high time frame positions that you know, will hopefully play out nicely. Things like Litecoin, things like Pump, things like the ETH short. If nothing else works out, then yeah, what can I say? I did close my Trump short the other day, or a while back. I wanted to gloat on the timeline, but I thought I probably shouldn't. I closed it like around here somewhere. Maybe it was like 9-10, something like that. Yeah, I rode that down from $28. That was pretty fucking epic. I'm going to be really annoyed though when it goes to like $1. Because that P&L card might have cost me thousands in funding, but you know, to get to $1, but it would have been worth it. You take a look at Pepe thinking about buying some here and then just hold on to the next pump. We'll come on to a couple of other requests, but let me just finish my list. So basically, I haven't got a position in, but I want to get a position in Bonk and or Fartcoin, right? I think both of them are pretty high on my radar. I just want to see some relative strength, which there is fuck all of. Litecoin, I've still got my bag, and I want to see it just trend continue, like up, and away. Pump Fund, we've got off position in Pump Fund. I still think this should be very high on people's radar, just in terms of, like, we've had a big range breakout. Hopefully we you know, continue. It's probably easier on a fresh chart on Pump Fund. And we get something like this. Yeah. And we just actually run it back turbo type thing. And SPX, I've still got a third of my bag, and I'm not like super positive about this one. I'm given its lost relative strength, absolutely fucking died from this high. And yeah, I think this one, yeah, I might just get 2/3 out here, and then 1/3 I might round trip the entire thing, but is what it is. BCH is a coin that is an absolute shit coin, but on a higher time frame, it's like, it looks like a fucking monster. I don't know how to get on board this coin, but I kind of want to, because it has been literally up only since way back here, which is wild. It's such a shit coin. But, you know, it's up nicely since kind of the start of April. And it looks like it might just go absolutely parabolic, which is disgusting to me. But I've got to keep it on my radar. I've got to keep it on my radar, but I haven't got a decent like entry methodology, because I hate buying in vertical accumulation. Hate it. Fucking terrible. ENA looks good for a long. Do you know what? ENA's one coin that I've not done enough of. And evidently that we've obviously talked about this before, or I've talked about it in a Paragon stream, because that is my favorite kind of parabolic run up into a lower high, into a glorified short. But let's treat it for what it is, you know, a fresh chart now. And all I'm kind of looking at here is a little bit of a meme level going through here in terms of support, etc., which kind of makes this again. So, you know, we're talking about like ETH. You know, do I want a long ETH? Nah, not particularly. If we get a nice like break a trend line on ENA, we get a bit of relative strength on ENA, then actually this becomes quite an attractive kind of position in terms of, don't want it to go to the lows here, want it to break our meme diagonal, and want it to kind of run probably to like fresh local highs, right? You know, it's a pretty strong coin, particularly when it gets running. And again, we're still, like, from a daily perspective, above that 50. On an RSI scanner, I imagine this is pretty high for most alts, because if you check it against like most other alts, right, they're all going to be like down here. Oh, I think so. Down the lows. Again, that looks alright. Anyone had a nice reaction off the lows. Again, this is one of my spot bags. Hopefully, we can reclaim this massive pivot at like 0.70 and run it back turbo. Again, like, you know, why buy ETH when I can buy shitcoins on ETH that I think will have much better potential for a decent run, right? Now, I'm not saying buy here in a downtrend and all this kind of stuff, but I'm saying if we clear 70 cents, it becomes a very, very good pivot and a place for invalidation, right? Galaxy looking good also. Still have a BNB long into infinity, Charlie. It's silently been chatting. No, I don't, mate. I got to admit, I closed that position. I'm trying to be a little bit more like, you know, I've got like spot bags, so I should drag anyone up here. Let's get anyone up here. Bosh. Positions. Obviously, I've got a big bag of Burt, which is fucking killing itself, which is lovely. Bosh. I'll try and keep this updated a little bit more. I'm sure I've got some other bags. I noticed that a load of people were shilling Epic. Cheers, boys. I fucking shilled it down here at like 90 cents, and then it fucking ran to $3. But yeah, whatever. What else? What else we got? Someone wanted me to shout Galaxy. Galaxy Digital. Let's have a peep. I actually need to get into more TardFi stuff, to be honest. Yeah, it looks pretty redonkulous. Kinda looks like a bit of a high time frame like rejection, to be honest. Bit of a, you know, bit of a strong move, rejection. Yeah, I'm not very good at trading TradFi stuff because there's no relative strength really. You know, like I got no idea what moves the share price of Galaxy Digital. Yeah, if we range it here, then great. Maybe, don't know. Oh, we got earnings. Lush. Guess that'll be a big factor then. BNB. You mentioned BNB, and yeah, I've seen it. It's been silently chatting, but no, I've cucked this. So is what it is, brothers. Is what it is. And again, it's really like not the most exciting coin to hold, right? It's meh. It's why I always say like new shiny shit is like the thing to go after. It's because, you know, look at the Chad who bought Bucky, whatever the fuck this is, and, you know, it's absolutely ran. Like, there's so much stuff like this, which I just think, like, this stuff is generally better in terms of, like, potential opportunity than stuff like BNB. Now, obviously, BNB is a much quote-unquote safer bet and all that, and obviously you got to manage your risk a lot more with this. But, you know, otherwise it kind of ends up, you know, absolutely dying a death. But, yeah, you know, there's people here coming to crypto with tens, hundreds, thousands of dollars and trying to hit it big, and it's much harder than it ever has been, right? Still the best casino in the world, but don't think you're gonna make it by trading BNB, to be honest. The EMA system looks scary for most of the shitcoins. Yeah, it would do. The old Trader XO macro trend scanner is gonna look like utter dog shit for most coins. Someone would look at Pepe. Pepe is kind of the same thing as Bonk, etc. Like a big pivot going through the level. But yeah, even if you just start like sticking this on and going into like actual tradable levels. Let's show both. We've had lots of bearish crosses. Doesn't really matter like what you've been looking at. Oh yeah, someone was telling me earlier that never going to be another 100x, and then I looked at his profile and all he was shilling was ADA, and I'm like, come on, brev. I mean, Pengu's been a really strong coin. Really, really strong. But what do we talk about? Yeah, tried for a rotation. Bit too early. Again, it's just like with Bitcoin where it is, with the market being like pretty weak in general, you know, we had this huge run up, you know, from April in general, like in TradFi, yeah? So this is kind of when everything started. We've had some really decent moves. It's not unheard of that we get A, a pullback, or B, some consolidation, right? Particularly on strong altcoins. Am I in a rush to position here? No. Was I in a rush to position when we start changing big momentum breaks, right? So we have a little big long sell-offs, everyone gets fucking bored, chopped up, they overtrade. Like this to me is where we're at now, yeah? And then when we start breaking those downtrends, and we start really putting in like a first good candle, everyone goes, oh, this is clearly going to fail. But the thing to do is to just assume that it's not going to, and go, okay, well, we've actually had quite a decent downtrend. Let's assume that this is, you know, not going to just fucking die on its ass. And when we go long, and we go long with a bit more size, or down here or whatever, again, similar like on this rotation, like we go a bit harder. Now, this, you know, is a downtrending market structure, yeah? This is, oh, Christ. It's a bit of a tragic meme line. That's quite a decent support resistance. If we get a decent sell-off and then a decent, like, reclaim, yeah, maybe we try a very high time frame like long. But the way it looks at the moment, it looks like Garbo. You know? I want to see a little bit of relative strength. And Pengu is actually on here as one of my picks right here. Like, I want to see the price of Pengu, so I added a little price line to it, which is nice. Nice little thing to do. But it's not particularly great. If you're not trading FWOG or Pump Fund today, you're probably not having much fun, at least the long side, right? If you're shorting other stuff, then great, good for you. Thoughts on MPC? It's probably going to be the same, mate. Like most altcoins are just the same chart at the minute, right? I'll do one more little look at MPC and then I'll just fire off with maybe one or two more questions and then I'll get going. I don't think there's too much to talk about. I think this is like literal decision point. If you're going super aggressive, great. Oh, I mean, look at this, perfect trade, lovely. What a fucking Chad. Be nice if I took it, wouldn't it? Do you have long-term spot? If sold, how much of it have you sold for this cycle? So I had long-term spot from like 2018, and I sold 80 to 90% of it this cycle, above 100k. That was always my plan, and I'm not gonna fucking apologize to anyone for it because that was me. That was always the plan. And people always think, oh, it must be so easy, just fucking hold him for 7 years. No, it's not. Watching that number, that imaginary number, go down like 80% from the highs is not fun. But yeah, I don't have huge amounts of long-term spot anymore. I've still got some spot, obviously, for my daughter. And I've got spot alts here and there. You know, I'm pretty useless these days in terms of micromanaging my investments. Like, there's Sage, which I was pretty bullish on. That's fucking gone to zero. I found out the other day. I was like, oh, what's this? What's going on? But yeah, I'm not like, I'm trying to diversify out of crypto a little bit more. So, you know, I don't think that the massive returns lie in, you know, Bitcoin anymore, right? I think everyone and their nan knows Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be a great asset for investing in for the next 5, maybe 10 years, yeah? I think Bitcoin, it's $1 million per Bitcoin, like I do. Do I think it's soon? No. Do I think it's this cycle? Probably not. This here, if I was being absolutely honest about it, and starting to like draw up my meme coin parabolas and going, or my meme parabolas, I'd start saying that, we are starting to really test the strength. And typically with these, you have maybe like one more absolute blow off top and then it's GG. So I'm hoping that's not the case, obviously. And like I said, I am massively bullish still on Bitcoin for the long term. I actually think gold will see a bit of an issue, because I think there'll be something like we successfully mined some gold off an asteroid or something like that, and there will genuinely be a shift from gold to BTC. I think that's the big thing that that will kind of crystallize gold as less useful and the price of it going down whilst Bitcoin digital gold goes up. I think that's the only catalyst I can see for Bitcoin being like, the kind of go-to hard asset in the world. So yeah, big answer. But a lot of it depends on personal circumstances. I still think crypto will beat 99% of savings and interest, bearing accounts and all that kind of stuff, right? In the long term, I think if you're buying Bitcoin here, you have to kind of question yourself, as opposed to like buying Bitcoin, in consolidations, like around former all-time highs, or just like literally range reclaims that could be like lows, similar down here. Like why go at it when like monthly is massively overbought? Why not wait till, because at some point it will be, like, probably a bad example because it's Binance, but it will be at least around or under that 50. Wait till then, if you can wait, obviously. Or range reclaims, whatever. But yeah, I still obviously trade quite actively, but my spot positions versus my trading positions, I've got a lot more in trading now. And it's on support if you want an entry for new shiny shit. Not financial advice. Nah, probably not, mate, to be honest. Let's have a look. Annie Grok Companion, this one. Jesus Christ. Boys have traded this a lot. Pretty wild. I actually know the only mean I remember seeing this. I'm completely ignoring it. But yeah, I think I've passed. It does genuinely look like it's at support. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, I still think like Parabola's intact. Yeah, it's pretty good in terms of an asset and an area to be exposed to. But yeah, if you had to choose an alt hold for 3 to 6 months, what would you go for? Like, I think it's really stupid to put timeframes on things, because I can't predict like the day something is going to happen, right? Is it going to happen in the next week, the next month, the next day, the next year? Do you know what? Like, I just don't know that. If I could tell you that, I'd be trading options and I'd be making a fucking killing, yeah? Off options, which I'm not. I'm not trading options, so I'm not making a killing off them. For me, it's more about like, what do you want to buy and hold because you see a future in something, or you think that it's undervalued, yeah, and could have another cycle. And it's pretty much any of these bags, any of these positions, yeah. I think in a week's time, a month's time, 6 months' time, one or all of them will hopefully be higher than where they're at today, right? Hence why they're my positions. Does that make sense? Because, you know, I think Burt breaks out at some point. I think it runs. Do I think that's today, tomorrow? Got no fucking idea, right? No fucking idea. Fartcoin, do I think that that runs again? Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be today, tomorrow? No idea. Yeah, I think this is establishing a big range. I think even this as a trade would be nice and easy. I do think, you know, in time, it probably rips the highs and goes higher. Pump fun, yeah, I think that this was the trade. This was the kind of good entry. Now you're just layering it and essentially trading structure. The link gives it in view only. So when you go in to Spaghetti, it's here. In the top right, you can copy and take a copy of it there, basically. Do you have any plans to reaccumulate that long-term spot at any price? Yeah, but it's not about price. It's about structure. It's about sentiment. It's about all of it, right? So, you know, if you said to me, like, let's just doodle something up, right? Like, let's say Bitcoin comes crashing back down. We get something like this. And then we get a nice little range down here for a period. Crypto's dead. Get deviation, reclaim. I would all in there, right? With everything that I could afford, with a stop under there. So yeah, I would buy it all back at more. Well, I'm not saying it's 36k, right? You can take that same schematic and you can do it here at 80k. If that's 80k, then that's 80k, right? If that's 96k, it's 96k. Yeah, whatever, don't care. But I want it to be fucking dead. I want people to be writing about how I was a cunt for even investing in crypto, right? And how it was the stupidest thing ever. It's a Ponzi. It's all dead. It's fucking gone. I want sentiment to be like literal rock bottom. Binance has blown up. Sailor's got his ass handed to him. I don't fucking know. Some shit like that. And then we'll go again. Cycles are going to continue, right? Like, people are like, oh, the cycle's ended. No, just pure easy mode has ended, yeah. Like, the cycles haven't ended. It's just getting progressively harder and harder and harder. But yeah, on that rather depressing bombshell, where are we at? Are you winning, son? No, I'm not. The fuck? What the fuck? Where's my free money? I was promised a winner. But that's alright. We'll just fucking leave it. Let it play out. See what happens. Right. On that bombshell, I will love you and leave you all. I will not be streaming next week, but I will be streaming the week after. People have been saying cycles ended every cycle, normally near the end. Yeah, there are no more cycles. Bosh, it's over. GG. But yeah, cheers for being there, everyone. Sign up to Bonkbot or telemetry by Bonkbot. And if you're doing some on-chain degeneracy. And yeah, I will see you in 2 weeks' time. Au revoir.